And right, guess who got credit for the article? Megan Thee Stallion did. When you go to the article and you read it, PR Newswire. It says news provided by Megan Thee Stallion. So I guess if there's any issue or a question or anything, then we can get into it here. Now, this is my question. On Discord, I see some screenshots from the PowerPoint presentation. They said this is not in order. This says the second lie. They said Kelsey Harris's DNA was not on the gun. DNA evidence shows that the gun came from a man, not a woman. But it was more than one profile, correct? If you go to the transcripts, then you will see that they said that there were 4 contributors to that weapon. And some were female and some were male. But it wasn't Daystar, was the point. But it wasn't just a man. So, okay. Fast forward, this is another excerpt. You would have to go through page by page yourself. It says the second line is that Kelsey shot Megan. So they have that. They said the gun was found under Daystar's seat and it was still warm. And that there was gunshot residue on Daystar. They said the third lie was that the LAPD lost the gun or misplaced the gun in the bullet fragments. They said Peterson claimed that the LAPD lost or misplaced the firearm and bullet fragments. They said the truth is that the firearm, magazine, bullet casings, and bullet fragments remain in LAPD custody. Well, that's really, really odd because I've never seen any declaration that the bullet fragments were anywhere. Since the preliminary hearing that they had, they've said that the bullet fragments were missing. And that's been widely reported. So if there's any issue about the bullet fragments, then the first person that they need to take issue with is, yes, Detective Stogner, that they who did the investigation. Right. Everything can be refuted. And my whole thing would be, why would they need to do this? She said, unsworn rumors being spread as fact. They said Bradley James, allegedly a former bodyguard of Harris, claims overhearing Harris admit to shooting a firearm. They said James was not an eyewitness to the shooting and he wasn't present at the scene of the crime. So do we want to admit Jaquan Smith's sworn affidavit then? Because he was there. James has never provided sworn testimony or been subject to cross-examination. James has not publicly addressed these claims himself. They just allege. They say Peterson's team just alleges this. They say despite being cited as a key source, James failed to appear at the press conference to support these allegations. Justin never showed up to court, and they did their opening statements and claimed that Daystar had went over and told Justin that he confessed. And all of that shit. They never said that Bradley James was going to be public. They never told anybody that. All they said was he felt guilty and he signed an affidavit. They did say they would show us the affidavit, and I have not seen that. Now, I will say that. But they never said that they would be producing Bradley James. They never said that Bradley James would be speaking. They have never confirmed who Bradley James even is. We don't know what Bradley James looks like. And I think that they purposefully misspelled his name on the Caldwell Institute website to try to combat any type of threats or doxing or anything. If you notice on the website, they spelled it Bradlie, Bradley James. On this PowerPoint and elsewhere you've seen, or you'll find that it's spelled Bradley. So I think that they actually never intended to show this man, that they never, like, there was never anything like that, and da 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 da. So there's that. They said sworn testimony supports Megan Pete. They said, now this is what I'm confused about. Um, okay. They said there's sworn testimony that supports Pete. They have a photograph of Noir in the middle. It says Noir, former content moderator for Blogger Milagro, testified under oath that Peterson admitted to me that Pete was shot when a gun went off during a struggle. Peterson publicly claimed that Pete merely stepped on glass, directly contradicting his own private admission, a fabrication that was subsequently amplified by his social media surrogates, including Milagro. Babe, I'm confused. You know some people have had to do sit downs, right? You're not supposed to discuss or be publicly saying what happened in those moments. How on earth are you taking this alleged testimony from Noir and putting it online? And you want to know something? This is so desperate. This is so fucking desperate that we got to clear something up. These people, these people, literally, I'm choosing my words. These people are taking the word of somebody like him, and that's your proof? His sworn testimony? The proof is that he claims that I told him that. You guys, I'm going to tell you something. And I'm only going to say this because Jason Lee has already read something out loud. I'm going to read something to you. And I'm going to tell you what happened. Hold on. Because this is old. Let me tell you something. I have never in my life said anything other than what was the truth. I've never said anything different. But I want to ask y'all a question. Do y'all remember when I did that fucking sit down for HBO? Do y'all remember that? And then let me go back to Discord because they're using Noir and this testimony is from when? And then fast forward, they said unsworn rumors versus sworn testimony. They said unsworn rumors. They got Daystar name, my name, and then Bradley James' name. So they want you to discount me, period. Don't listen to nothing Milagro say. Don't listen to nothing Milagro say. They got me, Daystar, and another name on a list. Defamation out of the wazoo. Right. They don't have Jaquan's name up there. I haven't even said, bitch, this situation don't have nothing to do with me. Gianno Caldwell held a press conference with Unite the People. I wasn't there. The fuck? Milagro did not spearhead nothing. Nothing. The press conference, this turned into interviews. Who did an interview? I didn't do an interview. Bitch, hello? I didn't sit down with nobody and do a motherfucking interview. The Piers Morgan interview. Fucking Cuomo. That don't have nothing to do with me. But anyway, so I'm just confused as to how my name end up on the list with Bradley James. They first of all, they start can't say nothing. He got a restraining order against him. I haven't said nothing. Anything I've been saying, I've been saying it. And then Bradley James supposedly signed the affidavit. Why are we on a list of people? Why? I'm confused. Like, what? Huh? I'm not breaking this news, bitch. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm just so hello. But any fucking way, I asked you a question, and you said yes. The answer to the question was yes. But I want to go to the actual thing. So give me 1 second. Hold on. I'm trying to use keywords to see if I can find like the actual fucking message. Let me just fucking scroll. This is worth scrolling. So you give me a second. When was that documentary was it was the baby was born around that time. So hold on. Hold on. Okay, I found it. I found it. Okay. So let me set the scene for you. Back when that HBO special came out, you know that I have a best friend that I've had for over 10 years, almost 15 years now. All right. So, I'm gonna be very, very open with my best friend. I'm gonna speak freely to my best friend and we gonna shoot the shits, right? How are you with your best friend? Okay. And so when we did the HBO special back in 2000, oh, are you kidding me? Back in 2023. I'll scroll back to it when I'm ready to read it. When we did the special for HBO back in 2023, I think it was, she hit me up and she was happy for me. And she was like, I think that's a big deal. And I can't wait to watch it. And you everything. Like I'm proud of you type shit. So I text her back after that. So what I'm gonna do is scroll back to the conversation I had with her back in 2023. And I wanted to go back to it so that I could go to the day, so you'll know what day it was, and then read exactly what I said to her. So let me scroll one more time and go to it real quick. But I found it, so I know it's right here. So give me 1 second. Okay. September 1st, 2023. I sent my best friend a link to the trailer. I said this will be available on HBO in America Monday, but this the UK trailer. She said, Mia. And I said, girl, I'm excited about it. She said, I know that you're excited, you know. I just really don't get what people are missing. She said, this is my best friend. She said Tori didn't get convicted or even shoot nobody. It was basically reckless behavior, but he had way more celebrity supporters. But I guess she felt like they just wasn't saying shit publicly. I said, so I just can't wait to see it in full and see what they did with it. We had filmed back in April, something like that. And then they popped up with the Monday date. So we'll see. She said, okay, well, I would love to see what they say on the other side. I said, try probably some bullshit. She said, basically, I wonder if they're trying to use this to boost up her career. I said, maybe not, because the seeds of doubt are there, but you never know. She said, you got a point. She said, Kelsey, this what she said. She said Kelsey shot her and Megan lied because she felt bad for putting all of them in this situation. Case closed. You want to know what my response to her was? I said, they said Megan was whooping the shit out that girl, and Kelsey went to her bag and got that gun, firing it, and then he grabbed her wrist on them last two, and it changed the direction. That hoe will be punished. That was my response to her back in 2023, like privately. So that's one instance. That's me with my best friend. If I've done interviews and I didn't told my best friend, girl, why the fuck would I tell anybody else that he claimed that anybody got shot? No, baby, Daystar story ain't never changed. ever. But I've also never taken anything I've heard or been told and ran to the internet to try to have a fucking moment. But like I said, since Jason Lee is reading messages and they start said the same shit, then whoop de whoop. They say, isn't there a video of Noir musty ass going to the crime scene in support of Daystar? Yeah. Let me post it on Discord so you can see it. And you've already heard me play audio of him saying that he hopes that they crumble. So I'm just confused as to what type of witness he's supposed to be. But what I won't do is get into anything that was supposedly said in sworn testimony, because it was explicitly said to me that that's not supposed to be discussed. I'm not aware of I'm not aware of this nigga Noir doing a testimony or sitting down, for anything separate. So the fact that this is even going on is just like, child, what? But you guys take a look at this video. I just put it on Discord. So this is this nigga in California walking, and then you can literally visually see the fucking property. And that's how much he doubted that situation, that he went on his own personal time to go over there just to smell the air, feel the area, look around, da 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 da. So to even use him in any capacity is so moronic. Um, like what? But these are things that I know. These are things that I know. And I guess that I was supposed to get online and start talking out the side of my neck and divulging things about my case. I don't have anything to defend. Nothing. I don't give a damn what Noir told anybody. Baby, the truth is the truth. And I can prove the truth over and over and over again. And babe, there's no planet. And guess what? Noir claims these. Noir has no proof of these things. Noir don't have me texting him that. Noir don't have me on no line saying that. Noir claims that I called him and I told him these things. Very convenient. But I do have me in writing telling my best friend behind the scenes years ago, verbatim, Daystar said that Megan was whooping the shit out of Kelsey. And she went to that car and got a weapon. And you want me to read it again? Let me read it one more time. Hold on. And that's on some dry shit. That's not even like part of evidence. Like that's like what? No sense. So to have my name on a list, but you have nothing towards these people, is insanity. This is what I said verbatim in this text. Daystar said Megan was whooping the shit out that girl, and Kelsey went to her bag and got that gun, firing it. He grabbed her wrist on them last two, and it changed the direction. That hoe will be punished. That's what I said. Because I was hopeful in the appeals process. Because 2023 is after his 2022 verdict, mind you. So he was already incarcerated at that time. So that's me having faith that the court will see that something's not right, and then they'll do what they need to do. So the reason and my point is, why on earth behind the scenes would it benefit me to tell two different people two different things? What's the point? But I literally, if I did have a conversation with anybody else about this matter, and if I was to relay anything that I was privy to, anything that, well, I heard such and such, this is what I've consistently said. So, like I said, they said they're gonna swear this groundbreaking. whatever. At the end of the day, like I said, I was told that we were not supposed to discuss anything that was said in the midst of the deposition or anything like that. So I won't get into that. In response to this PowerPoint presentation, what my name is continuing to be slandered and shit like that is something to make note of. But I don't, there's really nothing else I can give to it. And all I really will say is, to me, it looks ridiculous. Because now you're arguing a case in a court of public opinion, but y'all said y'all did not care about that. You got your verdict in a court of law. He's fighting for his freedom. And y'all are putting out PowerPoint presentations and writing letters citing, giving her credit for it and whoop, whoop, whoop. And it's like, well, wait a minute. What the hell is even going on? You know, I think the shit is ludicrous. But am I finna get up here hooping and hollering and that, how dare no, no, no. Because honestly, all I see is shaking, withering leaves. It's like a whole bunch of leaves on a tree in the season of fall. So I don't feel moved. I feel like the shit is ridiculous, but I don't feel moved. Um, I think that actually they should be punished for even taking anything that's supposed to be a part of this ongoing litigation and putting it out publicly. Um, yeah, that's not that they're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to do that. They say go look at Crystal Nicole's tweets. Give me 1 second. But I was supposed to get up here and act a damn fool, basically, and it's not happening. She said, I sure would hope that Megan's lawyers didn't drop this and that this was created by her fans, as one of these things is not like the other. So who's editing text? There's one screenshot from this PowerPoint presentation that says, minutes after the shooting, Harris texted Pete's security guard, help, Tori shot Meg and handled me. 911. Wait a minute. That's not what it said in court. Child. Wait a minute. They said Megan Thee Stallion's lawyers drop a 31-page document that highlight all of the key facts that got Tori convicted. Here go a link to the documents. Like, that is correct. And once again, did Megan's team drop anything? Because Megan Thee Stallion's name is on that. Okay? The name on the thing says Megan Thee Stallion. And I think that that's because, go to that person. If you go to PR Newswire, it says Megan Thee Stallion's legal team unveils overwhelming evidence of Tory Lanez's conviction and refutes attacks on facts around her violent shooting. It says news provided by Megan Thee Stallion. So they said today, New York, May 22nd, via PR Newswire, Megan Thee Stallion's legal team unveiled overwhelming evidence of Tory Lanez's 2022 conviction and refuting the false narratives around her violent shooting that have been peddled by his team. Then they have a link to the PowerPoint presentation. And they said the full presentation can be found here. And it reaffirms that there has been no new evidence that's been introduced. And they said the source is Megan Thee Stallion. Literally, it says source Megan Thee Stallion. They said, I thought that her phone died after she texted Tora shot Megan. They said they're trying to set you up to crash out. And it's not happening. It's not happening because there's nothing to crash out about, you know? I would only crash out if I was in a panic or if I felt like oh my God, or if this type of behavior, if weaponizing the media was new, or you understand? It's actually, yeah, it's really laughable. And to me, it looks very desperate. And like I said, what I won't do is be in a position where I'm revealing things that could get me sanctioned and turn into a thing. So I know for a fact that anything that has to do with this litigation and testimony, the only thing that's happened is that we've submitted paperwork and there have been depositions. So that was not to be repeated. The only reason why y'all found out about what Daystar said was because Daystar clowned. That's the only reason. So anything else, I'm confused. Did you hear anything about Sunstar's deposition and anything he said? If it's about who said what, did you get into anybody else? Prior to this, did you hear anything about what Noir said? But because y'all need to scramble, and what did they say? Hold on. Let me go back to Discord and let me take some screenshots, child. What does it say? It says Noir testified under oath that Peterson admitted to Cooper that Pete was shot when a gun went off during a struggle. It says, question. So Miss Cooper told you that Mr. Pete admitted to her that Miss Pete was shot because the gun went off after some wrestling in the car? He said, yeah. And because of that, when Miss Cooper posted that Miss Pete was injured by stepping on glass, she knew that that wasn't true. There was an objection, but it wasn't honored. And they said at that time, yes. So he's claiming, well, she should have known that she didn't step on glass when she was reporting it because he claims that she said Daystar told her that Daystar never told me that. No, he didn't. No, he did not. He never told me that. And does anyone have proof of me saying he told me that? No, you don't. Because it never fucking happened. Never happened. So a claim that, yeah, she said such and such. Let me explain something to you. If you remember correctly, I came up here one day and I said, I have a version of events, but I can't speak for nobody. So I'm going to tell it to you like it was a dream. And I came up on Station Head and I gave you a hypothetical scenario. And what the fuck did I say? And I will give money to whoever goes and finds that fucking episode because I'm pretty sure it's still up here. And we can go over what the fuck I said. So literally, I came in and had a hypothetical. So you can't never come back and claim I said anything because, babe, we come outside with it and get into it. This had to have, I don't even know what year this was, bitch. Probably 2021. Probably about like 2021. So I'm just, mm-mm. That don't make no sense. So I don't need to tell anybody anything different. So, like I said, I said blah 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 blah. They said Megan team playing dirty, adding shit to what Kelsey texts. Yeah, that looks crazy. But anyway, here goes my thing. And this is why I'm about to get upset. Now this be when I crash out. Unite the people and whoever else is associated has decided to get up and assert these different claims. But when it comes time for them to chastise somebody about it, they come back to me and Daystar. This girl just said you a fucking demon to Daystar. Now she got my name on a motherfucking list in a PowerPoint presentation. That shit is not fair. That shit is not right. Y'all opened up this can of worms. I did not pop up with no damn exclusive and say, everybody come look at me. So I think y'all need to make good on whatever y'all were talking about, because now y'all have me again in the midst of a situation where I didn't even do shit, and the shit coming back on me like I had a hand in anything that's even happening at this time. And see, that's that bullshit. They said, what is your name on? A fucking PowerPoint presentation list. Literally. Like, I'm sitting up here taking a fucking nap and I wake up and my name is on a list with Daystar and fucking Bradley James. Nigga, what? So help me understand, where is all this shit y'all supposed to have? Because now I'm getting more harassment because now it's being reasserted that, oh, this girl did such and such when I didn't do shit. So that's one part of it that I feel like, nah, I'm not fucking with that. They say you was deliberately left out the loop. Now you got to put out the fight. Right, that's what I'm saying. Because where is the people that have been, the people y'all like, that's the shit that blows me. In this season, y'all giving all the credit to who? Diana, Giano, and Representative Luna. So don't take their name out of it now. So what the fuck? I'm about to get on Instagram and say the same thing pretty much. But I just want to tell y'all that. So come to my Instagram if you want to. And yeah. Cause what? But I'm not gonna say nothing different, and I'm not gonna be hooping and hollering. Like, that's crazy.